Yo guys, welcome to my Eye of Winter build guide. With this build I kind of wanted to do like a big crit kind of glass cannon-y type thing, but there's quite a few defensive layers, so I'm going to be going through that with this build. This build will have 9 power charges and like tons of crit. I made them as an assassin because I just wanted to do an assassin build. I don't think I've actually ever done one before. I will leave a path to building in the description with my planned gear if I was going to finish this character and my current gear that I have as of making this video. So a good pro of this build is map clearing. It's pretty quick and pretty smooth and efficient. We utilize the chain gem, so you can throw the orbs right into the middle of a group and then they'll just bounce around everywhere and kill everything, which is pretty nice. We also use like Hydrosphere as well, because you can actually use that with the chain to help with single target damage. So if you put the Hydrosphere to the left of the monster and then you cast your orb like down the middle, all the projectiles on the right side of the orb will hit the boss or whatever, and the left side will bounce off the Hydrosphere and hit the boss that way. It's pretty good. And Hydrosphere also does like a lot of debuffing and stuff, so that's decent for the single target. Even though this build only has 4,000 HP, there's tons of defensive stacking with it. We are crit immune, curse immune, damage that we take is unlucky. We freeze a lot, we have 70% dodge and 60% spell dodge with elusive up. We can block projectiles with Hydrosphere, and we got some life leech as well. I will talk more about that once we get into the gear portion of the video. Another pro of this build is if you want to invest a lot into him, I think he has the potential of doing a lot of damage. I'm currently level 91 with the build, and I'm probably going to stop here as I want to try some of the other new skills as well, so I'll show you guys what I've got. For the cons of this build, I got relatively low HP with my current character, but if you get all the gear that I have planned out, you get about 5,000, which is still kind of low, but it's a lot better than 4. I find it pretty hard to kill monsters that move around a lot, so like the Roa and Arid Lake map is a giant pain. Monsters that teleport everywhere, like Dominus, can be kind of annoying. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. That shield charge guy in the bathhouse, I forget what his name is, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But on the flip side, like if the monster stays still, you can put the Hydrosphere right beside him and just like pretty much blow him up, especially when you get all your power charges and the monster is below 50% HP. Leveling wasn't too bad once you got Unleashed, but before you got Unleashed it was a little rough. I ended up leveling with Molten Orb, I think is what it's called. They might have changed the name of it, but that like fiery orb thing that bounces around on the ground and chains a couple times, that skill. To get good gear with this character would probably be moderately expensive, and you have to be good at actually dodging stuff. It's not like, oh, I can sit there and tank it, because you will probably die a few times. And another really bad downside to this character is any type of ground degen, because you can't dodge it, you can't evade it. So if you're standing in it with low HP and not much regen, you tend to lose health pretty quickly, even with burning ground with max resist. Even with all the downsides, I actually had quite a bit of fun with this character, and it started to peter out for me around level 90 because I just wanted to play something else. I was trying to get to level 92 so I can get the last life nodes that would have bumped me to probably 4100 HP, but I decided not to, as I wanted to try a different build before the Diablo 2 remaster comes out. So let's get into how I built this character. So for this part of the video, I am going to show you guys my gear and the necessary equipment to make this build work for my version of it. So this build is built around 2 Void batteries. These cost me about 40C each. And what this will do is give you lots of spell damage, lots of power charges, some cast speed, and a bunch of mana and stuff. So you just want 2 of these. The intelligence requirement can be a little rough, so you might want to get like a big piece of gear with int, or temporarily allocate an int node on the tree, like a 30 int node. That's what I had to do until I got enough gear to not have to worry about that anymore. And for the helmets, we use Viridi's Veil. This was what will cause us to have it so monsters hitting us are unlucky and be curse immune. So we need a magic ring in the right hand, so I just have this. I mainly just bought a ring with high life and then an open suffix, so you can craft stuff that you need. So for me, I needed intelligence, so I crafted intelligence on here. If you're good for intelligence, then you can craft on like a resist or something. It makes it like very flexible, but it has to be magic for the helmet to work. So that helps us with our defensive layering as well. For everything else, I got, actually my gear is pretty bad to be honest with you. I just bought this for 10C or 11C and just crafted a life roll and a resist. I got the dex roll with the Regal, which kind of sucked. If I got another resist, it would have been great. And then just put fire and lightning res. This is better than a tabla. I was using a tabla for a while. So yeah. And then ring, I just got resistance with some life. I can definitely upgrade my ring too. Like I said, this gear is not the best. You just mainly want resist, make sure your stats are good, and then get a good chunk of life, because I can get another like 50 life on here, which will up my HP massively. Same with gloves, just get life, resist, and that's pretty much it. I don't know of anything else. You might be able to do a hunter mod for unnerving on hit. That would be okay as well, because these things hit a lot. Belt, just life and resist. Eventually you'd want to go an abyssal belt, but I went with a heavy belt because I needed the strength. So it was like the easiest way to get strength. Boots, these are actually pretty good. I can't remember how much they cost, but this is pretty much what you want in a boot. Just lots of movement speed, life, resist. You need the movement speed to help yourself avoid stuff, so that stacking with elusive will help a lot when it comes to your defensive mobility. And then amulet, I know I can get better, but I need this kind of for the stats. So that's why I used it, for giving me enough strength and intelligence as well. And then allocate overcharge, which will give you another power charge. And then flash, you just want a couple instant ones. I haven't got around to replacing this hollowed one, but if you want to get 2 divines of that, I have an aquamarine flask to give me freeze immunity and remove bleed. Bleeding's like something that you really want, because corrupting blood will kill you in like 2 seconds. Because we have no physical mitigation and we have a low HP pool. I use quartz flask to help me with my dodge, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can run through monsters with it too. It just gives you more mobility. And then for me, I had to use a mana flask because, like, clarity works okay, but when you're really in there, you kind of want to keep your mana full. And enduring one would be the best. But I thought this one was pretty good. If you can get an enduring one of efficiency, maybe that would be alright. That'll just help keep your mana full. So for the skill tree and more defensive layers that I picked, I went with the Pantheon, or not the Pantheon, the Ascendancy of Assassin. So I went this way down to the crit area first. This will increase your clear speed like dramatically once you get all these. So go down to Deadly Infusion first, and then I went and got Mistwalker, because this will give us elusive, and as long as we have elusive, we don't take any crits. But you have to get enough crit to keep elusive up, so that's why I went this way first. And then for the last one, I went to here because I wanted like good single target as well. My clear was really good. If you want to, you can go opportunistic as well, but I didn't think that was really necessary. I thought having 100% crit when monsters are below 50% HP and having Calling Strike with it would be a lot better. And then for the defensive stuff on the tree, I got Phase Acrobatics for dodge. I grabbed the elusive on kill and elusive effect, so this will just make your elusive last like, I don't know, a long time. 200%, whatever that is for time, like, I don't know, like 20 seconds or something. So that'll keep you being crit immune. And I mainly just went and grabbed crit nodes and all the power charges, some HP nodes where I could. And then for cluster jewels, this is like my first ever build built around them, which was kind of fun to make, to be honest. I went with the cold damage large cluster jewel. It made sure I had Blizzard Collar on there for Frostbite Curse effect to help us with damage to bosses. And Doriani's Lesson to get elemental damage leached as life and some elemental damage that just helps you with your survivability a little bit. And then one of these cost me 75C and the other one cost me 30, I think. And then for the medium cluster jewels, I went with the crit one. These cost me 10 to 15C, I think. I went with pressure points, so critical strikes have 5% chance to deal double damage. So I have 4 of these, so they'll have 20% chance to deal double damage, which is pretty good. You can definitely tell when they go off. So got 2 of these for each large cluster, and then for a small one, we obviously need life on the tree, so I went with Life Jewels. You can go with the Fettle one, but each one of those was 75C. So I went with this one in case you get chunked, and then you can, with the increased life blast recovery, you can really crank up your HP instantly in case you get hit again. So there's that as well. Those cost me, I think, 5C each. So I went with that Cluster Jewel wheel and this one. Like I mentioned before, I was going to get level 92 to get this. But I never made it. I was like, I just kind of want to make a new build. For small passives for your Cluster Jewels, try to get like some damage or crit multi or stats or resist. Stats is probably the priority in my opinion, because you want to be able to be more flexible with your gear. And you kind of need some int for those wands because they're like 250 int. So I went with Chaos Resist as well, as definitely need that too. As like I mentioned before, the ground effects for Chaos and burning and stuff is pretty rough with the build. I managed to do Uber Lab with 2500 HP, and that was fun. But just learn how to dodge his stuff, and it's not too bad. And that's pretty much it for the tree part. And then for my links, you can definitely do more links. I just kind of like half put it together. I wasn't sure what to do with my supports. Like you can use a cast when damage taken golem or something just to squeeze out some more damage, or maybe a stone golem would probably be good with this build to help you with the degen as well. But for this wand, I had summon Skitterbots with Bone Chill. Apparently that works. So yeah. I don't know if it does or not, but I just like, I'll try it out anyway. I didn't really have enough mana to run a Herald or anything and be able to sustain casting. For here, I was just leveling up a Herald of Ice because I was trying to figure out how to get that in my build. That will help out your map clear like huge. If you just have like an Enduring Mana Flask, you can take off Clarity and you probably blow maps up with that thing. Like once stuff shatters, explodes, you're good to go. For my helmet, I had Frostbite, Hex Touch, and Hydrosphere. So that's pretty good. Curses your enemies. It allows it to reduce the resist of the monster. Exposure. There we go. I was trying to think of the word. And help keep it up and have your stuff chain everywhere. Just you can move your Hydrosphere around like instantly. It's pretty good for like scouting ahead and stuff, blocking projectiles. Just watch out for maps with chain on them, as I think they'll chain off the Hydrosphere and hit you. For my other wand, I had Arcane Surge at level 7. I was using Frostblink. You can use Flame Dash if it's better. I don't know why I was liking Frostblink. I think it was the fact that I could like Frostblink into a pack and freeze them all, and then kind of do my thing, or when I Frostblink out, it was kind of more of a defensive thing for me. And then I just had increased duration for making my Arcane Surge last longer. So just make sure you cast that every 5 or 6 seconds, and then you can get Arcane Surge, which will increase your spell damage by quite a bit and give you some mana regen. For my 6th link on my chest, I had Eye of Winter. I tried to corrupt it to 21. Failed like I always do. Unleash. I haven't flipped any of these yet, so that would increase my damage quite a bit as well. So Unleash is really good with this. Increased critical damage. We're a crit build, so yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. Added cold damage just for some more cold damage. You can do the Awaken version if you wanted to with that. Same with Unleash. Just make you gain your Unleash stacks a little quicker. Cold Penetration would be another Awaken version. It'll give you a little more cold pen. And Chain, because Chain's really good with this. It bounces off the Hydrosphere for single target. It just bounces through monsters. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build that I can think of. It was a lot of fun. If I wanted to invest more gear into it, it would probably be great. Like obviously there's a better chest I can get, better rings, more resists and stuff. Like you can get +1 skills on your gloves, you can get +1 skills on your amulet, stuff like that. That would increase your damage. I flip all my gems, that would give me probably, I don't know, 50 to 60% increase more spell damage, so that would increase my damage by quite a bit as well. And you know, and enlighten and maybe squeeze on a Herald or something to make the clear better. But yeah, that's it for my build. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It'll help the YouTube algorithm out to show my video to more people. And if you enjoy the content, please hit the subscribe button. It'll help the channel out a lot. Off to make my next build.